yesterday we did the distance formula and we learned the formula for that. And today we are going to be learning about the midpoint formula. Okay, so now the midpoint is exactly what it sounds like. It tells us about the midpoint between two places. So if I have the point 2 over here and the point 8, and I want to find the midpoint between these two, I can easily like count 1 this way, 1 that way, so that would be 3, 7, and then count 1, 6, 4, count 1, and I know I drew that completely wrong, but they would both meet at 5, and 5 would be the midpoint that we're looking for between 2 and 8. Or another way we could possibly do this is we could take 2 and add 8, and we can divide these two by 2. And 2 plus 8 would give me 10 divided by 2, and that would give me 5. So the other way for me to be able to find this easier without having to count from each side as I go in is just to add the two numbers on the end. So take 2 and 8, add them together and divide them by 2, and that will give us the midpoint. Now, I need to just remind you guys, when I was calculating for the distance formula, or if I was calculating the distance between 2 points, I had a length. So I will have something like 7 units. That would be my answer. My answer would just be 7 units or 5 units. That's all. But when I am calculating for my midpoint, I am going to get another set of coordinates. I'm going to get a coordinate. Okay, I will not get a length. Okay, I will get a coordinate. So I will have an X value and I will have a Y value. So it will be another point on my line that shows that the distance between A and M, in this case, as if we look at our example over here, the distance between A and M will be exactly the same as the distance between M and B. And we call that equidistant. So AM and MB are equidistant. And you can already tell from the word equidistant what it means. Okay, it means they are of an equal distance from each other, or the same length apart from each other. So if we look at these 2 points here, we're going to look at A and B. So we're going to be looking for the midpoint of A and B. So we're going to write a big M, the midpoint of A and B, open brackets. And then I'm going to look at A over here. Our A is -4. And over here at B, we have 6, the X values for A and B. So we're going to go -4 plus 6, all of that divided by 2. Okay, and for our Y values, we'll have 1 plus, and over here I've got -3, so plus -3 divided by 2. Okay. And guys, I need to remind you to please stay muted. Okay, and that's going to give us the midpoint of A and B, -4. Okay, Amanda, I can't, unfortunately, I can't zoom the screen. I think you might have to zoom in or out on your screen. Otherwise, it's going to put my stuff out of whack a little bit. Okay. All right. Oh, yes, -4 plus 6. Okay, I almost lost my train of thought. -4 plus 6 is 2 divided by 2. And 1 minus 3 will give me -2 over 2. Therefore, my midpoint of A and B, or my midpoint of AB will be 1 and -1. So if we look at our drawing over here, this midpoint right here in the middle, okay, will be 1 and -1. Okay, we're going to do that again. Okay, so we are looking for the midpoint between 2 points. Okay, we're looking at the midpoint between 2 points. So because our midpoint is going to be another coordinate, it's going to be a coordinate. It's going to be a coordinate. We're going to have an X value and a Y value. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to find the midpoint of our X value, and we're trying to find the midpoint of our Y value. So when we look for them, this is the formula we have to use. x1 plus x2 divided by 2, and y1 plus y2 divided by 2. So we're going to add them to each other. Okay, so we're going to look at our x values. I have here, for my x value for A is -4, and my x value for B is 6. So I'm going to add them together and divide by 2. So the midpoint of AB is, I'm going to start with my x values. My x value is going to be -4 plus 6, because that's what the formula tells me to do. -4 plus 6 divided by 2. Okay, that's my x value. Then I have to go look at my y value. For my y value over here at A, I have 1. And at B, I have -3. So I'm going to take both of them and add them together. So I'm going to have 1 plus -3 divided by 2. Okay. And remember, I'm not going to get just one answer like we did for the distance formula. I'm not just going to get a length. I'm going to get another coordinate. So I'm going to have an x value and a y value. Now, if I do the maths here, the midpoint of A and B will give me -4 plus 6 will give me 2 divided by 2. And 1, a plus and a minus is going to give me a minus. So I have 1 minus 3, which is -2 over 2. Okay, and if I clean this up, the midpoint of AB is equal to 2 divided by 2 will give me 1, and -2 divided by 2 is -1. Okay, guys, can I get a thumbs up, thumbs down? How are we feeling about this example? Excellent. Awesome. I think this is one of the easier ones that we get to do. Thank you, Teacher Courtney. Okay.
I'm learning too.
Okay, awesome, awesome. It is quite easy now, I agree. Okay, let's try. That's okay, Emilio, as long as you're here with us and looking at the examples, that's fine. Okay, we're going to try A and B, okay? And we're going to use the midpoint formula, guys. Remember, for the midpoint, we're going to take our first x value and our second x value, and we're going to divide them by 2. And we'll take our first y value plus our second y value, divide that by 2. Okay. All of that together. Lashandre, thank you so much for that, making Teacher Courtney feel welcome. Love that. Awesome stuff. All right, guys. Okay. Let us try A and B. Remember, when you're done, please put the reading glasses emoji in the chat. I like my little nerdy guy. Okay. Do not write the answers. Okay. Everyone, I'm going to give everyone 2 minutes. Maybe let's make it 3 minutes for everyone to write everything down. Londiwe, remember, if you're just finding the answer, that's not what we're hoping for. I need you to write it in this order, because this is how you get your marks. Okay, we need to be able to write it just like this so that we can get our full marks. So if you are done and you've written it down exactly the way I've done it, perfect. If you've written it down like this, okay, that's great. I need you guys to write it in this particular order. That's how you get your full marks. I know it's tedious and nobody really feels like doing it all the time, but it's better for you to write too much than too little. Okay, so make sure that you're following the exact procedure that we're following in order to do these. But I'm seeing quite a lot of you are finished. Sakile and someone named iPhone. iPhone, we need to find out what your name is so we can change your name for you. Okay. I think Unati couldn't find the emoji, so he put a smiley face and glasses. Thanks, Toke and Inam. Amukelani as well, and Nati. Guys, I'm expecting 55 responses. There are 55 of you in the class. I'm gonna wait for 55 emojis. Nice one, Sakiwo. That's okay, Unati, that's okay. Thanks, guys. Awesome. Hi, Menzi. Yes, Tato. Oh, I thought Tato had a question. No, just put his hand down. Okay. Hi, Owami. You might have missed something a little important. We're doing the midpoint formula, but I'm sure you'll catch on as we go along. Okay. All right, guys, let's look at A. I'm going to do a bit of corrections here. Okay. A. I'm going to look at A. So remember, we're looking for the midpoint. Okay. And that's going to be our X value, which is 2, plus our other X value, 4. So we'll have 2 plus 4 divided by 2. And our Y value is 5 plus 7. 5 plus 7 divided by 2. And this will give me 2 plus 4 is 6 divided by 2. And 5 plus 7 is 12 divided by 2. And that will give me 6 divided by 2 is 3. Well done, Sakile. Exactly. 3 and 6. Okay, can everyone post their answer for B in the chat for me? What did you guys get for B? And remember, guys, it's a coordinate, so we need to write it as such. You need to open brackets, give me your X value, semicolon, Y value, close brackets. So it needs to look exactly like that because it is a new coordinate. Okay. What did we get for B, guys? Excellent, Sipokazi, you've forgotten your brackets. Well done, Eunice. Excellent. Well done, Sakiwo and Sakile. Phew, I'm gonna get stuck with that one quite often. Sakiwo and Sakile. Okay. This is going to give me 5 over 2. This is 8 over 2. And for this one, Emilio, I'm not too sure. I have not seen your answer as yet. Okay, for this one, guys, you can either write 5 over 2. That's what I was about to address, Sino. Okay, you can either write it as 5 over 2 or 2,5. Both of them are correct. Okay, it's easier for us to write it as a fraction if it has recurring decimals or too many decimals at the end. Like, let's say, for instance, if I had 1 over 3. 1 over 3 as a decimal is 0,333, and the 3 is recurring. So I can't write all those 3s. So it's easier for me to leave it as a fraction. I would rather leave 1 over 3 as a fraction because there are too many decimals after that comma. But in this case, 5 over 2 rounds off beautifully as just 2,5. So you can do that. But leave it as a fraction. It normally is more correct if you leave it as a fraction because you don't leave any decimals out. Okay. All right, guys, thumbs up, thumbs down. How are we feeling about midpoint? How are we feeling? Thank you, guys. Awesome. See, no, you are smart. It doesn't make you feel smart. You are smart. That's how you're figuring it out so easy. Okay. Excellent. Now, in true fashion, we can't just leave you guys, you know, with the easy stuff. We need to challenge you guys a little bit. Okay. And if you feel like you still need more practice, I will give you a chance to just take a quick screenshot of the rest of these so that you can go and practice how to do the midpoint if you feel like you still need to do it. Okay. You can take a screenshot of the whole thing and go ahead and practice with some of these. Okay. All right. Now we're going to be looking at this. Okay. Now this is going to put together the midpoint formula and the distance formula that we learned on Monday. Not Monday, on Tuesday. Shoo, I'm thinking I'm still in Wednesday. On Tuesday, I'm going to remind you guys that the distance formula is the square root of my x1 value. Oh, I'm lying. x2 minus x1. x2 minus x1 all squared plus y2 minus y1 all squared. The square root of all of that. That is my distance formula. And my midpoint formula is x1 plus x2 over 2 and y1 plus y2 over 2. Okay. Now, our question says, an inaccurate sketch of a quadrilateral ABCD is given. PQRS are the midpoints. So we already know what we're going to have to calculate for. The midpoints of AB, BC, CD, and DA. Okay. Dukulo, I have not started the question yet. I'm just explaining at the moment. Okay. So you guys, I'm going to make it a little bit bigger so that you guys can see it. Okay. Yeah, so we're looking for the midpoints. We're going to be looking at the midpoints of AB, BC, CD, and DA. Now it says, find the coordinates of P, Q, R, and S. Guys, tell me in the chat, which formulas are we going to use to find the midpoints of P, Q, or the coordinates of P, Q, and RS? I feel like I just gave you guys the answer, but okay. Which formula are we going to use? Oh, Eunice, think again. Think of all the stuff that we've just learned. Good, good, guys. We're going to use the midpoint. Okay. I'm going to give you guys some time to calculate for P, Q, R, and S. When you are done, you can type done in the chat, or you can put down any emoji that you feel like you like. Okay, but I will give you, there are 4 midpoints to calculate. So I'm going to give you guys 4 minutes. Okay, go for it. Okay. And since I've already done the working out, I'm going to put my emoji in the chat. That's my emoji because I already worked it out, guys. Oh, Teacher Courtney's feeling like rich.
That's the money I'm going to make with all my maths knowledge.
Awesome. Liatruma, we're doing question A, 1, 2, 3, and 4. So find me the coordinates for P, Q, R, and S, please, my sweetie. Sure, Eunice, that was quick, but I agree with you. It is kind of that quick to do it. Okay, I'm going to wait for 3 more people to say done or put an emoji in the chat, and then I'm going to start putting down some answers. Oh, there we go. Mpontokozo and Ndebogeng and Nati and Eunice are all done. Okay, all right. I'm going to start putting some answers in the chat. Okay, P is the midpoint of A and B. Excellent. You guys are moving really fast, and that's good in maths. I hope your answers are correct, though. And we're not just moving fast, but we don't have the correct answers. Okay. The midpoint of BC, because that is Q. Okay. Awesome, Lonello. I've got to put my R in there. Eight over 2. 2 minus 4 will give me -2 and 2. R will give us 4 and -1. Yes, and then I'm just going to pan over to the right a little bit so that I can get a little bit more space to answer for S.
Teacher Coco,
Yes,
I think for Q, our y coordinates, the 6 plus 2, I think that's 8.
That's 8. Ooh, I'm so sorry. Yeah. Absolutely. Thank you, Teacher Courtney.
It wasn't me, it was the chat. The chat was on it. Yeah, they were.
Okay. I was testing you guys and you passed. Okay. I was seeing if you guys were still awake, and it looks like you guys are. Excellent.
Yeah, good catch, guys.
Well done, Namukelani and Sino. Okay. Over 2 and 4 minus 4 over 2. I should move over a little bit more. S over 8 of 6 over 2, 0 over 2 is equal to S -3 and 0. Okay, so here are our 4 coordinates for P, Q, R, and S. Tell me, guys, score out of 4, how much did you get? Okay, these are P, Q, R, and S. Excellent. Nati got 3. I hope you know where you didn't quite get it. Nati, just have a look at how we've done these and make sure you're checking yourself. Make sure we don't make that kind of mistake again. Okay, awesome. I think this was pretty standard. All right, so let's look at question B. Right, now question B says, find the length of PQ, QR, RS, and SP. That's okay. And if you didn't get time to finish, that's okay. Okay, sometimes, okay, we do need to learn how to work faster, but it's better to be right than to be fast. Okay, it's okay. It's okay, guys. If you didn't get time to finish, that's okay. As long as you're learning how to do it and you're getting the other ones right, that means you know how to do it. Okay, so guys, in the chat, tell me, how will we find the length of each of these? Which formula will we use to find the length? Lashandra is on the ball. Excellent, good. For B, we're going to use the distance formula. Okay, but we need to use these values that we've just figured out, these coordinates that we've just calculated. Because it says they're looking for the length of PQ, you're going to use P over here and Q, and you're going to find the distance between them. Then they say QR, so you're going to use Q and R to find the distance between the two of them. And then RS, and you guys get the idea. Okay, I'm going to give you guys about 5 minutes to calculate the distances that they're looking for, PQ, QR, RS, and SP. And when you're done, type done in the chat or choose an emoji that you'd like to tell us that you're done with. Okay, Andre, hold off on your answers. Just an emoji for me, please. Okay. All right, guys, you've got 5 minutes.
Teacher Coco, I like how you are timing them. You're preparing them for exams.
Yeah, exactly. It's more like a mark a minute. So if you can get like 1 mark, if you can figure out 1 mark for 1 minute, that's good. So if a question is worth 4 marks, you need to be able to do that question in 4 minutes. Okay. So that's the kind of idea that we're going for. Yeah, especially when we set tests and exams. Emilio's exams are done and he's relieved. I hope you did well, Emilio. You're not just relieved that they're over. I hope that you're relieved that they're over and you did well.
Silence.
He's still thinking, did I do well? I don't know. Ah, I see. Emilia's crushing it over there in maths. Nicely done.
Teacher Coco, can you scroll up a little bit, please? Thank you. Teacher Coco, you're on mute. I didn't know if you did it on purpose. I've been watching, trying to decide.
I actually did, but Tugula, here is the answer for S, and you'd probably be looking for it. Yeah, S is -3 and 0, so you can use that. Oh, Dokozo, not Dokozo. Okay. You guys are looking for different things. All right.
Do you take the grade 10s on the cruise with you, Teacher Coco?
No, we don't. Unfortunately, in grade 10, we have way too much work to do. We don't have time to go on a cruise.
Fair enough, fair enough. Grade 10s, one day when you're with Teacher Coco and Teacher Marides and you have time, must ask Teacher Coco to take you on a cruise. As a treat, if you all get good results.
Okay, I'll let Miss Marides know, and we'll see about going on a cruise one of these days. Miss Kat teaches she's not here with us today because she's at school this evening, so she's not with us. Emilia's like, that would be too much. Not too bad, Emilio. It'll be okay. All right, you guys have 1 more minute, and then we'll look at doing the distance. Yes, Unati. No. Remember, if there are too many decimals, don't do decimals. Leave it the way it is. Okay. I know it's a square root. Leave it as a square root. Okay. Thanks, Reachile. Let's see, Bokazi is telling me that she's done as well. So I've got 3. I'm waiting for one more person, and then I'm going to start putting answers on the screen. There we go. Thanks, Paul. Okay. So the distance PQ is equal to the square root of. Okay, I'm going to pick this as my y1, and this is my x1, and this is x2 and y2. I'm going to have 9 minus 2 whole squared plus 4 minus 5 whole squared is equal to the square root of 7 squared plus -1 squared. Okay. So equal to the square root of 49 plus 1, which is equal to the square root of 50. Okay, then if I have to calculate for QR, it's going to give me, okay, this is still x2 and y2, so I'm going to name R, x1 and y1. Okay, I'm going to have 9 minus 4 squared plus 4 minus -1 squared.
Teacher Coco, Ayanda has said your coordinates are wrong.
Okay, Ayanda, where have I gone wrong? Okay, I'm going to have a look quickly. Who said no? There would not come a time, no. On PQ, where did I mess up? Okay, so I've got, let me have a look.
They
Okay,
look
so
right
I've got
to me.
yeah, so I've got x2, which is 9, minus x1, which is 2, all squared, plus y2, which is 4, minus y1, which is 5. So I don't think I've done anything wrong. Guys, can you just check for me? Yes or no? Did you guys get the same answer for PQ? Chandra says yes. Ayanda, do you want to maybe put your hand up and let's see where we may have missed it? Okay. Awesome, guys. Okay. 9 minus 4. Okay, Ayanda, please just double check again for me. This is going to be 5 squared as well, which is going to equal to the square root of 25 plus 25, which is equal to the square root of 50. Okay, so obviously we're testing how you guys substitute into the distance formula. So if you keep going, you're going to find that RS is also equal to the square root of 50. No worries, Ayanda, no worried. Sino says, does it affect the answer if we swap the x1 and the x2? Or so, for example, when finding the length of PQ, instead of 9 and -2, we said 2 and -9. No, because look here, this is 7 squared. Hey, Sino, if I said 2 minus 9, I'm going to get -7 squared. And -7 squared is the same as -7 times -7. That negative and that negative will give me a positive answer, just like 7 times 7 would give me a positive answer. So it doesn't matter. You get to choose which one your x1 and your x2 is, or your y1 and your y2. Okay. It doesn't really matter. Okay, Reagile, you're 100% correct. Because if we square a negative number, it will come out positive. Okay. All right, and with SP, we're also going to get the square root of 50. Thumbs up, thumbs down. Did we all get square root of 50 for every single answer? for PQ, QR, RS, and SP? Excellent, excellent. That was the idea. Okay. Good. Okay, so now we're going to go look at the last question, question C. Okay, so now it says, what can be deduced? Ooh, these hard English words. What can be deduced, okay, about the quadrilateral PQRS? Sipokazi, I have not asked the question yet. Lonelo, that's fine, my sweetie. Please make sure you're safe, and you can always watch the recording, okay? Okay, so now what can we deduce about the quadrilateral PQRS? Okay, now we know that each one of these, the lengths of these, so the length over here is the square root of 50, the length over here is the square root of 50, the length over here is the square root of 50, and the length over here is the square root of 50. Good, okay, Reachile, they are equidistant. But what do we notice about it more than it just being equidistant? Okay, Sipokazi, I was asking, did you get the square root of 50 for all of the answers, for all of the lengths? That's what I was asking. Okay. Well, if you didn't get square root of 50 for all of them, you should have gotten square root of 50 for all of them. Okay. Okay. So what kind of shape are we actually looking at, guys? What kind of quadrilateral is PQRS? Good. Not so much a square. It can't be a kite. It's not a kite, Vukile. Let's think again. You guys are correct. A square would have all sides the same. Oh, there we go. Someone named iPhone K. Yeah, there we go. And Amukelani and boom. It's a rhombus, guys. Okay, remember a square would sit exactly like that. A rhombus is just off to the side a little bit like that, with all the sides the same. And this one, because it's not square on, it's to the side, that means it's a rhombus. And a rhombus would also have all the sides equal to each other. Okay. All right, give me a scale, on a scale from how do I feel? Do I feel good about midpoint and distance, or do I feel like, yo, man, I don't know. Give me a scale in the chat, guys. How do I feel? Georgia says 10 out of 10. Kamu's like, good. Nsako's still at a 5 out of 10. Awesome, guys. Okay, for those of you who are at like a 7 or a 5, remember, guys, this stuff does take practice. Okay, it takes practice. So the more you practice these, the easier it's going to become for you guys to do them. Okay, I want us to do one more challenge. Those of you who are not feeling confident and still feel like they need to practice, I'm going to give you one last chance to take a screenshot of these questions so you can go and practice. Okay, practice the midpoint formula. Okay, look in your textbook. There are many, many questions on the distance and the midpoint formula. Practice, practice. And then, Teacher Courtney, do we have a link to
the quiz?
To the quiz, yes. If we can drop that link to the quiz in the chat, please.
Sure.
Thank you. Those of you who feel like, okay, I might not be able, like if we do a challenge, it's going to confuse me, then you guys are more than happy to go off. But if you feel like you would like to sit and do a challenge with me on the midpoint and the distance formula, you guys can stay. Okay. If you want to stay and do the challenge, you guys can stay with me. But if you're like, no, ma'am, I would like to go and practice the easier stuff before I come back to the challenge, remember, it's there on the recording, then you guys can go off and do the quiz for today.
Sorry,
Okay.
that link I sent is the wrong one. Don't do that one.
Is it? Oh, yeah.
I think, yeah, sorry. I'll get the right one for you guys now. Just give me 2 minutes.
Okay. Yeah, guys, let's not click on that. Okay. All right. So I'm sure it should be correct on the website though. Hey, Teacher.
Yeah. Yeah, it should be.
Yeah, sorry guys, please don't click on it. Okay, for those of you who want to stay and do the challenge, let's read quickly. Oh, thank you, Lashandra. Thank you. Lashandra is saying I look beautiful in my new hairdo, even though like I'm sitting in the dark, but thank you very much. Okay, all right, so the question says, the following sketch shows parallelogram ABCD, and I'll tell you guys now, grade 10s, they will always ask you something about certain shapes, and what you need to know is the properties of these shapes. Okay, so you need to be able to know the properties of a parallelogram. Guys, what do we know about parallelograms? Let me know. Good. Opposite sides are equal. Opposite sides are parallel. Excellent. What else do we know? What do we know about opposite angles? Good. Opposite angles are also equal. Excellent. Right? So angle D, the whole of angle D and the whole of angle B, those will be equals. Diagonals bisect. Excellent. They do bisect. Then I know that A, the whole of angle A and the whole of angle C will be equal. One thing that a lot of us forget as well. Good. AB is equal to CD. Very well done, Nsako. That's what we were talking about. Some of us forget that if I draw a straight line from B to D, then triangle BCD and triangle ABD are actually congruent. They are exactly the same triangle. How cool is that? That is an amazing property. Same as if I draw a line from AC, triangle ABC and triangle ADC are congruent. And that's something that we should remember about parallelograms. Trust me, it's going to come up again, guys. It's going to come up. Okay, so now it says to us, determine the coordinates of P giving a reason. Okay. How are we going to calculate the coordinates of P, guys? What do you guys think? Is anyone brave enough to put their hand up and offer us a solution on how we can solve this one? Eunice, I see you. Good. We need a reason though. You guys are 100% correct. We're going to use the midpoint. And we made it very clear, the midpoint of AC. Good. Bonolo, why do you think we can use the midpoint of AC?
Because A and C are the opposite sides of P.
Okay, you're almost there. Somebody said it's something about AC and BD. They do something. What happens? Does anybody know? What was the reason? What did we say A, B, and C, D do? What do they do, guys? What do we call it when they meet right in the middle? Ah, right there. Oh, good. They intersect, or iPhone K's hand is up. Not so much just the intersection, guys. Bisect. There we go, iPhone K. Well done. They bisect, which means that there will be each side of them where they cut each other. That then will mean that those sides are equal. So we can use the midpoint of these two. So can you guys calculate the P for me? Can you guys calculate P for me? The midpoint of AC. Give me an answer in the chat when you're ready. Shoo, Londiwe, that was quick. Put your answer in the chat for me when you're done, guys. Okay, and our reason for this one is that the diagonals bisect. Bye, Lashandra. P, negative, not negative, +1 or +1/2. Bye, guys. And 4/2. So my coordinates for P are going to be 1/2 or 0,5 and 2. Those of you who are still with me, thumbs up, thumbs down. Did we get the same answer? Excellent, Melogushe. And Amukelani, awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Okay. Now, here comes a funky question. Now it says, determine the coordinates of D. Oh. Now, how do you guys think we can determine the coordinates of D? Bye, Lusanda. What do you guys think? What can we do? I'm going to write it over here, actually. Does anyone have an idea? Okay, I'll give you guys a hint. We won't finish it today. I'll ask Teacher Marlies to finish it off with you guys in the next class. Okay. I'm going to go look for iPhone K because I think you have an idea. But now I can't find you. And I need you to raise your actual hand and not the hand in the chat because, oh, there you are. Okay, can you unmute for me, iPhone K? Bye, Sichaba. Hello.
Hi, ma'am.
How are you?
Good, and yourself? I'm
good, thank you. What do you think we can do to find D?
So, ma'am, I'm not sure, but then looking at this triangle, I mean, this, it's a parallelogram, right? So looking at it and looking at the coordinate for B is -4 as X and -1 as Y, right? So, and then we're looking for D in this case. So what I think, okay, I feel like I know the answer, but then to how I got my answer, that's where, you know, yeah, it's just, yeah, tricky.
Okay.
But then
can you tell me which answer you got? What answer did you get?
4, no, not 4, yeah, 4 as an X and 1 as Y.
Okay, I'll tell you what. 4 kind of sounds there, but I think you've missed it by a little bit.
Yes, I also think so too.
I'll explain why. Okay, so here's what I can tell you guys now. Because I know that my coordinates for P over here, and I know that my diagonals bisect. Hey guys, that means that the distance from B and P is going to be exactly the same as the distance from P to D.
Yes, I see it, yes.
We could possibly use the distance formula, but that's not going to help us. What we can do is I feel like we can use the midpoint formula, and we can call this x2 and y2, and we can use that in order to find those coordinates. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to go the midpoint of BD, right, is equal to something. So my x value, if I had to add my 2 x values, I would go x1 plus x2 divided by 2, and that would give me my P value. So all of this needs to give me 1/2, okay, because P is my midpoint. So I have my x1. My x1 is -4, and this is y1. My x1 is -4, so I will have -4 plus x2 over 2 is equal to 1/2. And now I only have one unknown. I can use algebra to solve for my unknown. I can do the same with my y value. So I'm going to take my 2 y values, y1 plus y2 over 2, and that should give me my midpoint at P, which is 2. Okay, so I have y1 is -1, so I'm going to have -1 plus y2 over 2 is equal to 2. And now I only have one unknown, and I can use algebra to solve for that one. Okay, this one is a tricky one, but I 100% guarantee you guys it's going to come up in an exam or in a test. Okay.
Okay, ma'am, can I ask?
Yes.
So, ma'am, I know this sounds a little bit dumb, but then, ma'am, like, write the 2 triangles are congruent to each other.
Yes.
Triangle ABC and ACD, right?
Yes.
So, like, I don't know how, but then I have something in my mind, like folding the triangle so that when it goes over to the other triangle, that's when you're gonna get 4 and 1 as coordinates.
I get you 100%. So let's say, for instance, the x2 is 4. Like, let's say the value for x2 is 4, right? If my value was 1, then look here, C also has a value of 1, which means D would have to be on the same Y line over here. Okay.
Oh,
That means
yes,
the D would
yes.
have to be down here, and it's not.
Yes,
which
that makes
your Y
sense.
value, your Y value is not quite there. You see why?
Yes, ma'am, I see that. I see it.
Okay. All right. But we'll
Thank you, ma'am.
we'll continue this conversation again on Tuesday.